Welcome to the Coach Jeff Garrett Show, where each week I bring you short, bite-sized podcasts filled with powerful ideas that you can use at home and at work. I'm a thought leader that believes you can have success while living life out of balance. I'm glad you're here. Let's get the show started. Today, I want to talk about leading through change. And I want to talk about leading through change in business. One of the hardest things for a leader to do is to manage change. But it's something that leaders have to do every single day. And great leaders do change really well. They embrace change right from the beginning. They understand that if they're going to keep up in their business and their business is going to have longevity, they're going to have to keep up with technology, consumer changes, laws, regulations, cultural shifts, and a whole lot more. If we go back and take a look at the COVID shutdowns, we look at why did some businesses thrive and some businesses not? Well, some industries, it was just very hard and change was almost impossible for them to attain given the circumstances. But if we look at the restaurant industry, for example, which restaurants survived and which ones didn't? What I found is that the restaurants that ended up thriving and surviving are the ones who adapted most quickly and changed most quickly. And what they did is they built carryout models, and they were able to develop business by doing carryout or having delivery. The businesses, restaurants that didn't, most of them didn't survive. I was thinking back about the iPhone, and I was thinking, remember when you got an iPod? Some of you are probably too young to remember iPods, but the iPods were really cool because it was music that was not on a cassette tape, not on a CD. It was stored on a hard drive, and you could carry that music with you and listen to it. How many people use iPods today? I'm sure there's some that do, but what happened is Apple changed and kept adapting, and they came out with the iPhone. Now the iPhone has an iPod built right into it. So you don't even need iPods anymore. They became essentially obsolete with the advent of the iPhone. If we look at some other businesses, for example, look at Blockbuster Video. Have you been to one lately? There might be one or two left in the United States, but I'm not aware of any. It's been a long time since I've been to a Blockbuster Video. Remember, they started out with big cassette tapes, and then they shifted to DVDs. And one thing they never did is they never built a streaming system in time to survive. They didn't adapt to technology, and they became non-existent. What about Netflix, on the other hand? I can remember ordering online movies to mail to me the DVD. And then when you were done watching the movie, you took the DVD back to a post office box, dropped it in the box, and sent it back to Netflix. Today, Netflix has changed. Their leadership has taken it to a whole different level. They kept up with technology. They kept up with consumer demands. They were able to adapt. And now Netflix has a streaming service, and they have their own programs and movies. If you're going to be in business in the long term, you have to adapt, and you have to get very good at change. And great leaders are great at change. Here are 7 steps for leading through change. The first one is really important, and is communicate effectively. Clearly communicate the reasons for the changes and how they're going to benefit everyone involved. Share the potential wins. What impact is this going to have on the team? What are the positive things that are going to happen? And it's great to be transparent too, because there are going to be negatives when you go through change. Make sure you share the negatives and the positives, but show how the positives are going to outweigh the negatives. Involve your team members, your employees. Encourage them to provide feedback and to be actively involved in the process. This is really big. If they're active in the process, the chances of buy-in are a lot greater than not. And create a sense of urgency. Number 3, Help people understand the need for change and the potential consequences of not changing and the benefits of embracing the changes. Number 4, develop a clear plan. You have to have a plan. Have a detailed plan that outlines the steps that need to be taken. You put on there who's responsible for what, when each step is going to be completed, and track it. Number 5, provide support. Provide your team members and employees with resources and support they need to adapt to the change. This is critical and can't be underestimated. Make sure there's a clear path of communication for any resources that are needed for the changes. If they don't have what they need for the change, it's going to make the change a lot harder and morale of the team's going to drop. Number 6, lead by example. Speed of the leader, speed of the team. You have to be a role model as a leader for the behavior you want to see in your team members. Embrace the change right off the bat. If you have team members that embrace the change and they adapt to change faster, have them help you to help others embrace the change. Number 7, this is really important. I can tell you personally, I'm not really good at this, but celebrate success. Recognize and celebrate the successes along the way to keep your morale high and maintain momentum through the change. It's often missed, and it's extremely important. I know those with high achiever strengths, they tend to want to check off the accomplishment and move on to the next task or project, but you have to take time to celebrate your successes. A key to helping your team members through change is to ensure they understand the benefits. I talked about this in communication. It's really important. Explain how the change is going to help them in their role. What are the benefits to them individually? Some of your team members, employees, you'll have to meet with one-on-one. The ones that are extremely challenged in making change, you want to sit down, you want to hear their concerns and help them through it, coach them through it, or have one of your other leaders coach them through it. Change is hard, but great leaders are great at change. Thanks for listening, and be audacious. Please share this podcast with your friends and coworkers.